This video is for lecture number 3 notes, the last example, example number 3, where we're given two forces, F1 and F2, and it's asking us to find the magnitude and the coordinate direction angles of the resultant force. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work to break the two forces down into their components in order to add them together to find the resultant force. So I'm going to start by looking at force 1. So for force 1, I want to notice that I have the azimuth and transverse angles. So that means that I have in the XY plane, that is not what I meant to draw. I have F prime right here. So that's F1 prime. And I also have this vertical component, which is the Z component, using the 45-degree angles. So for F1, I notice that my phi is equal to 45 degrees, and my theta is equal to 30 degrees. So I can use the phi to find F1 prime, which equals F1 times the cosine of phi, which equals 450 times the cosine of 45 degrees, which equals 318.198. Now we do have to be careful and check if any of these components are negative. So in looking at this, the Z component is up, so it's going to be positive. So when I solve for F1 in the Z component, I'm going to have positive F1 times the sine of phi. That equals 450 times the sine of 45 degrees, which gives me my Z component equal to 318.198 newtons. From there, I can solve for my X and Y components because I have F1 prime. So make sure we look and see if they're positive or negative as part of this problem. So if we look at F1 in the X direction, it does go towards the negative X. So it is going to be negative F1 prime times the sine of theta. Now notice it's the sine this time. That's because if I examine my angles and I look at my X and Y axis, my X component, which is this one right here that I'm just highlighting, is across from the angle, which means that it is the sine. So you can't always assume that it's cosine for F1, for f of x, because in this case it's the sine. So that is going to be negative, and F1 prime we found was 318.198 times the sine of 30 degrees, which is going to give me negative 159.099 newtons. So now I can solve for F1 of Y. Let's look and see if it's negative, which if you notice, it goes to the right, which is positive Y, so it is not negative. So it is going to be F1 prime times the cosine of theta, which equals 318.198 times the cosine of 30 degrees, which is going to give us 275.0 0.568 newtons. So I can now write this as a Cartesian vector for F1 by saying I have my x component is negative 159.099. I'm going to keep all of my decimal places that I've been carrying because this is not my final answer. My y component is positive 275.568 in the j hat. And my z component is also positive 318.198 in the k hat newtons. All right, now we're going to look at force 2. So go down here, we're going to say for F2. If you notice that F2, they're giving us the angle from the vector to the positive x-axis, so that's alpha, which is equal to 45 degrees. And they give us the angle to the positive y-axis, so they also give us beta, which is 60 degrees. They do not give us gamma. So from that, we can find that F2 in the x direction is going to be magnitude of F2 times the cosine of alpha, which equals 600 cosine of 45 degrees, which equals 424.264 newtons. And then for F2 in the y direction, that is going to be the magnitude of F2 times the cosine of 60 degrees, which equals 600 times the cosine of 60 degrees, which equals 300 even newtons. All right, now I need to figure out how to find f of z, the z component. So there are two ways we can find the z component. The first way is that we could do the cosine of squared equation and find gamma, and then use the cosine to find z. Or we can do what I'm going to choose to do and use the Pythagorean theorem. So if I use that, then F2 of z. And by inspection, if I look at it, notice that it is negative because it does point down. So when I do this, I'm going to have to put a negative in front of it. Negative square root of F2 squared minus Fx squared, F2x squared minus F2y squared. So that equals the square root, negative the square root of 600 squared minus 424.264 squared minus 300 squared. Which gives us that F2z equals negative 300 newtons. So now I have all my components. So if I write F2 in its vector format, I'm going to see that F2 is a vector. And we write it in its Cartesian coordinates. I'm going to have the x component, which is positive 424.264 in the I hat. And then my y component in the k hat. And my z component, oops, I did that wrong. That was not in the k hat. That is the j hat, my bad, minus 300 in the k hat. A little early. And don't forget our units, which are newtons. So now it wants the resultant force. So I know that the resultant force, oh my goodness, whoops, sorry about that. My resultant force is F1 vector plus F2 vector. So I can find the Cartesian vector format of the resultant force by adding the two together. So let's add the x components together, which is 424.264 minus 159.099. So I'm just adding the two components together. I'm going to get 265.165 in the I hat. And I add the j components together, I'm going to get 575.568. I am keeping all my decimals because this is not my final answer. It did not ask me for the Cartesian vector. It asked me for the magnitude of the resultant vector and its angles. So I'm just writing out the Cartesian vector now. So last thing, I'm going to get the k component, which is 18.198 in the k hat. So that is our resultant force. Now to get the magnitude, F of R, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So the resultant force is the square root of each component squared. 265.165 squared plus 575.568 squared plus 18.198 squared. And I'm going to get that F of R from that, when I put that all in my calculator, equals 633.97 newtons. I'm going to box that because that's one answer. I also need to get alpha, beta, and gamma. I am going to leave this with a little more decimals in my calculations. So I rounded it for my final answer, but in order to do the resultant angles, I'm going to use the full value. So cosine of alpha, R for resultant, is going to be the x component over the resultant, which is 633.973. And I get, when I take the inverse cosine, alpha is 65.28 degrees. I'm going to do the similar thing for beta. Resultant equals 575.568 over 633.973, because that's the magnitude. And I get that beta resultant equals 24.79 degrees. And last thing, we're going to find gamma for the resultant force. And that is going to equal 18.198, the z component, over the magnitude of the resultant force. So we get gamma R equals 88.36 degrees. So those are our answers. As always, box your answers so they're easy to see. And that is the end.